Have you ever had one of those moments where you are speaking English and then you suddenly realize that you are saying the same word over and over again? You start every sentence with I think, actually, basically. To describe something, you use good, and then you can't stop using very. Don't worry, we have all been there. In fact, many non-native speakers get stuck repeating the same words without even realizing it. But here's the deal. To speak English fluently, you need variety, you need color. Repeating the same words not only makes your speech sound flat, but also it limits your ability to express yourself fully. I'm going to show you the words that you should stop overusing and, more importantly, what you can use instead. Let's start with the biggest offenders. Very. Now, don't get me wrong. It isn't a bad word, but when you use it all the time, your sentences start to sound dull. How many times have you used very tired, very good, very interesting? Sound familiar? Instead of repeating very all the time, why not using stronger or more specific words? For example, instead of saying very tired, you could say exhausted, worn out, or drained. Now, let's see the next one. Instead of very good, you could say excellent, amazing, fantastic. Instead of very interesting, you could say fascinating. See? By switching out very for more descriptive words, you instantly sound fluent and confident. Now we'll be practicing together. I'm going to give you a sentence with very, and you have to replace it with a better word. Ready? This cake is very good. Take time. Think. What can you say instead of very good to describe a food? Okay, maybe you can come up with delicious or mouth-watering or finger-licking, right? Now try the second sentence. I am tired. We could say I am knackered, I am exhausted, or I am worn out. Okay, then here comes the third sentence. The movie was interesting. Try captivating and intriguing instead of interesting. Got it? So the more you practice, the easier it will become for you to find the alternatives of very. Let's keep going. Now we'll talk about another common crutch. I think. Now it's completely natural to start your sentence with I think, especially when you are expressing an opinion. I can understand. But using it all the time in your conversations, not appreciated, because that makes your sentences sound weak, dull, and unsure. For example, because when you repeat it every time, your sentences start to sound dull, boring, weak, and unsure. Imagine saying, I think this is good. I think we should go. I think it's important. After a while, it doesn't sound confident, does it? So it sounds dull and weak after a certain time, right? So what can you say instead? Here are some alternatives. Replace I think with I believe for more confidence. You can also try in my opinion or from my perspective for variety. Or sometimes just drop I think altogether. Simply say, this is a good idea, instead of, I think this is a good idea. Let's try something fun. I'm going to give you some sentences and I want you to rephrase it without using I think. Let's see how confident you sound. I think we should leave early. What could you say instead? How about we should leave early? Just drop I think. Or it's better if we leave early. See the difference? I think this movie is great. You could say, this movie is great or this movie is fantastic. I think learning English is important. How about learning English is essential? See how much clearer and confident you sound when you stop using I think constantly in your conversations. Keep practicing and you'll notice a big difference. Now let's talk about two words that are used too often: good and bad. When you are learning English, it's easy to fall back on these words as they are familiar, common, and easy to understand. But if you're aiming to sound more expressive, you need to expand your vocabulary. And you have to stop using good and bad in your sentences. Instead of saying good, why not using words such as beautiful, amazing, gorgeous, brilliant, fantastic? Instead of bad, why not using words such as terrible, poor, disappointing, awful? These words give your sentences more depth and color. For example, instead of saying the weather is bad, come up with sentences like this: the weather is terrible. The weather is disappointing. Or instead of saying the book is good, you could say the book is fantastic. The book is amazing. Time for another quick practice. I'll give you a sentence and you have to upgrade the adjective. Ready? Okay, here you go. The food was good. What could you say instead? Okay, you can say the food was scrumptious, or the food was delicious. The food was mouth-watering. Another sentence: the service was bad. Well, you can say the service was horrible. The service was disappointing. Another sentence: the place is good for studying. You could say the place is ideal for studying or perfect for studying. Now, with these small and simple changes, your English will sound advanced and more fluent. Now, let's tackle the word nice. It's one of those words that gets used in all situations. Like, you can say nice weather, nice person, nice food, but it isn't really descriptive, is it? It doesn't tell you much. Instead of using nice, try being more specific. For example, if a person is nice, instead of saying he is nice, you can say he's kind, generous, or thoughtful. You see? If the weather's good, say beautiful, lovely, gorgeous. And if the ambience is great, say charming, vibrant, inviting. The more precise you are, the more impressive your speech gets. Let's upgrade nice together. I'll give you some sentences and you have to replace nice with a better word. Here's the first sentence. She's a nice person. What could you say instead? Maybe she's kind, thoughtful, or generous. Here you go with the second one. It's a nice day. You could say, it's a gorgeous day, or it's a pleasant day. And now what about this? That's a nice gift. How about that's a thoughtful gift, or a wonderful gift? Great job. By using more detailed words, you will sound more meaningful and your English will really start to shine. All right, we've covered some most common words that people tend to repeat, and we have got some alternatives to choose from. The more you expand your vocabulary and practice using these new words, the more natural they'll become in your everyday conversations. Remember, fluency isn't just about speaking quickly. It's about speaking with variety and confidence. So next time you catch yourself using I think, very, good, bad, nice, switch it up, and your English will thank you. Did you find this video helpful? Which word you use the most? Let me know that in the comments and challenge yourself to replace the word from day one. I'll see you again in my next video. Until then, stay connected and keep practicing with me. Thank you so much for today.